What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. And I kind of didn't want to do this video, but you guys said you wanted to hear the story. Then after I talked to Simone from Girl Is That Legal and my own attorney, I thought maybe this could be a cautionary tale because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't even think about. So like the video's intro plays, we got a lot to get into.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense to me intellectually.
Make it make sense. You know what was up.
Big Mouse. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Jesus, I bow my head
So
before
listen,
you, and I ask
I'm gonna
you.
check your blood pressure real quick, okay?
Okay, take
Okay,
it.
thank you.
I've been checked from one end to the other. See if I'm pregnant at 66 years old.
It's possible, man.
Well, I know it is. He tried to do it in my ear and my face and put it all over me. How would you like to have cum poured all over you?
Stop. There's a child right there.
Well, maybe that child needs to hear.
That is funny.
Doing it in the ear is wild. Anyway, so where to start? I had to get a rental car, A, because my car was in the shop, and B, I don't like putting miles on my personal car, especially if I'm taking like a long road trip. So I went and I got a rental car. It's like I guess you could call it like a small SUV. It was pretty comfortable. No complaints from me in terms of the vehicle. Get to my destination on a Friday, Saturday night. I call down via text message for my vehicle to be brought down. Typically they say it'll be a 5 to 10 minute wait. I had an event to go to, so I just went downstairs. I was already ready to go. I get downstairs and I'm noticing that there's not like a lot of foot traffic. For the most part, it's just me, my homie, and the dude who works at the front desk. No valets in sight, no cars being brought down. I'm not even tripping about any of this. I was actually extremely patient at the beginning. I would say about 25 minutes after I initially called for the car. So now we're talking around 12:50 at night. I get this text message. Unfortunately, no valets are available to retrieve your vehicle at this time. Please try again in 10 minutes or present your ticket to the valet stand. Now, there is no one at the valet stand. It looks pretty shut down. So the next, I guess, chain of command would be the front desk clerk. So I take it to the front desk clerk and I'm like, hey, I don't really know what's going on, but I have an event to get to. It's time sensitive. Where's my vehicle? And he says, oh, don't worry about it, sir. It's, what did he say? What was his exact terms? Saturday nights are our busiest night, so your vehicle will come. Give it about 5 minutes. Now, keep in mind, there's not been any vehicle. So I tell him, I said, well, there's not been a vehicle brought down. That's why I'm speaking to you, because there's nobody else to talk to. There's no valets. And he said, well, there's 2 valets. And I said, okay. Well, do you know where they're at? And he goes, just give it 5 minutes. So in exactly 5 minutes, I go back to the front desk and I'm like, can you call somebody for me? He says, sure. So he calls both valet people, no response. Then he calls the manager and he has the manager on like speakerphone. Like, okay. He's explaining to the manager that he's reached out to both of the workers who are currently on duty. They haven't answered. The manager of the valet stand, because it's third party, they're not necessarily affiliated with the Hilton Hotel, tells him, is there a problem? And he says, no, it's not a problem. It's just our busiest time and a customer needs their car. So I'm thinking that's not what's going on. There is a problem because no cars are being brought. And I've received a text that my car is not even coming. So while he's on the phone, one of the valet people reaches back out and he says, well, I'll call you back. He tells the valet station, you need to get here because we have a customer who needs their car. So after he gets off the phone, I said, well, I think you kind of misrepresented what's going on because there is an issue. He asked you if there was a customer who had a complaint. You said no, and then you kind of fed him that it was busy, but it's not busy. There's no one else at this hotel. It wasn't like a big weekend. It wasn't like a convention weekend. It was just like, I guess, more of a normal weekend because there was not really anybody coming in. I saw one person walk in, and they weren't driving. So at this point, I'm kind of annoyed, but I'm more just kind of ready to go. And for me, service industry people have it hard enough. So I'm not going to make your job harder. You're not the valet station. I understand you probably have a relationship with these people, even though it's third party, they're your coworker. So I'm not really giving the front desk person a hard time, but I want my vehicle. And I don't believe what he is saying because there's nobody receiving their cars. So 5 minutes later, I go back up and I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do. I could Uber to the event, but that's going to cost me more money. And now I'm kind of concerned about the car. And he was like, don't be concerned about your car. It's okay. They'll be here. Maybe around 5 minutes after that, a guy comes walking up. He is still not bringing a vehicle. He has not retrieved a vehicle. He is walking into the hotel. So I meet him and I'm like, hey, I really need my car. Could you please get it for me as quickly as possible? He looks through the key stand. There is no key to this vehicle. So I said, well, where could the key be? And he says, well, let me call my partner. He calls the guy, and this time it's not on speaker, so I can't hear the call, but he does say, do you have the keys to the Mercedes? And he said, I guess. He says, yes. He says, well, the customer needs their car retrieved. Can you go ahead and bring it? So then he tells me, give it about 10 minutes. I said, well, where is the valet station? He said it's 2 blocks. I said, why would 2 blocks take 10 minutes? So, you know, my subscribers know that not very much gets past me. I kind of notice everything. And this guy who has no other customers is now looking through the key stand, not to retrieve a vehicle, but now I'm picking up that he's nervous and he doesn't want to continue talking to me because the more I press him on where the vehicle is, the less answers he has. Oh, so if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you're not new to the channel, hit the like button. I go and I sit in the hotel because now I'm kind of mad. And again, I was ready on a time constraint. Now we're at maybe around like 1:20. It's like a 20-minute drive to get to the event. The event ends, I believe, at like 3 o'clock. So I'm annoyed, but again, this is a rental car, and now I'm just kind of nervous about if something has happened to the vehicle. 10 minutes later, a young dude comes up and he's like, hey, sorry, sir, we couldn't find your keys. Well, that's not the truth because the other gentleman said while you were on the phone with him that you had the keys, and that was 10 minutes ago. So I don't press him on that. I just say, okay, thank you. Get in the car, and then I see this. The window of this vehicle is dripping with condensation. So now I'm on fire because you have lied to my face. And let me just keep it real. If he would have, I don't know, maybe given me something to work with, not lied, just gave me the car keys, I checked for any damage. But the fact that you've lied, the front desk person has misrepresented to the manager what's going on, and now you bring me a car with wet condensation. If you don't know how you get this in a car, what happens is when cold air and warm air meet, they produce condensation on your window. This type of dripping wet condensation in a window does not come from a 2-block drive. And he wasn't just sitting in the car, because I thought about that too. If you were just sitting in the car when your coworker said you need to bring this vehicle, then you would have still not produced this type of wet condensation, and you would have been able to come quicker than 10 minutes. So now I'm operating almost an hour. I go in to the hotel and I speak to the man at the front desk and I said, look at this window. He kind of like smiles and nods. And I was like, this man has been in this vehicle. I need whatever phone numbers you dial because I'm mad, but I'm already extremely late for the event. Mind you, I don't get to the event till after 2. Everybody had already kind of like cleared out. So it was like a waste of a night for me. It was a waste of money, but I'm angry because this is a rental car. And moreover, this is not like a G ride. This would be like a, like a really cool soccer mom kind of car. It wasn't anything that I would expect that anybody would like. That is if somebody gives you their vehicle to move it directly to the, whatever. I mean, the garage, if it's not a garage, the designated space, anything outside of that where the owner of the vehicle does not know that you are driving around, that's all kinds of liabilities. So I go to bed. The next morning, I had actually told my friend who he had gotten his hotel room and he'd also gotten me my hotel room and I just paid him back. I told him, I was like, hey, I really don't want to make any waves here, but I'm extremely upset. I know this hotel, I know my name is on this, but your name is associated with the room. I'm going to go down and I'm going to talk to the front desk because somebody needs to at least give me a call. Before I could do that, he already went down, talked to the manager of the valet station, and they said that they were going to pull the records. I said, but I still want to tell the hotel because I feel like they need to know. He says, I get it. So we both go down, and I kid you not, when I asked to speak to the manager, the best way I can describe this dude is somewhat like racially ambiguous, but he looked like Hagrid from Harry Potter. He tells me, well, they're a third-party company. And I was like, well, yes, I get that, but I would think that you would want to know if your, customer is having this type of experience. If I just tell them, how would you know that the people handling your customers' vehicles might be joyriding or stealing the cars or doing whatever? And he said, I said, well, let me show you the picture of the condensation so you'll kind of understand. You understand that this is only 2 blocks away. How would there be this level of condensation? And he looks at me and he says, I can neither confirm nor deny that they took your car. And I can neither confirm nor deny that that condensation came from them taking your car. I don't even know how long it takes for condensation to form. And then Then I realized, oh, you're gaslighting me. And I said, well, again, I just thought you might want to know what's going on. I will be speaking to them as I understand that it's a third-party company, but this is a very jarring experience for me. He just said, okay. So I disengaged because, again, it's service industry people and they already have a hard enough time. It's not his valet company and maybe he has personal connections. So again, I'm not angry. I'm not raising my voice. I'm just letting you know the experience that I've had in your hotel. And the reason I don't mind giving you the name of the hotel, it was a Hilton brand hotel, is because a little bit later I spoke to somebody. The next day I spoke to somebody else and she was actually extremely great and accommodating. So it wasn't an all around bad experience at the Hilton brand hotel. It just was not great with Hagrid. Hagrid definitely was gaslighting me. So where are we now? My friend had gone downstairs, talked to the manager of the valet station, and they were supposed to be pulling records. The hotel had my number to tell the valet company to call me, and the valet manager was given my information so that they could give me a call after they pulled the records to see exactly what happened. I have never gotten anything. I have never even so much as gotten a call to say, my apologies from this third party company. I think it was, I think it's like Flash Valet Service or something like that. Let me tell you why this is a cautionary tale. For starters, anything could happen. And whether it's the hotel, whether it's Flash, whether it's the rental car company, nobody really wants a claim against their business. So whatever they can do they will to make sure that you are the person that's liable for this. I talked to Simone from Girl Is That Legal. You can check out her channel. She told me that even as an attorney, she gave her car keys. She had a brand new convertible to the valet stand. They wrecked her car in the garage. And then they told her, we're sorry, we don't have any liability for this because our driver had a seizure. And anything that is medically related, we are not liable for. It's all included in your contract. So you're going to need to pay for this. Well, she fought it, and they never even had to produce the driver's medical records because they had fired him. And so she fought with them for a long time before Simone did a background check, as she is also a private investigator, and found out that that particular driver had a suspended license, which meant they were never supposed to be driving, which voided the whole medical emergency thing. And that is the only way she got paid. And I want to say it was either 23 or 28 months after the initial accident. People will always look for a way to get out of a situation. God forbid something had happened with that driver while they had my vehicle, but technically it's not my vehicle. So think about this. If you ever rent a vehicle and go to a hotel and you give your vehicle to the valet without them being a designated driver of that vehicle, then you potentially void your own contract with the rental car company. There are so many layers to this. I didn't even pick up on that until I was talking to the attorney, and I was like, wait, if it's a rental car, can that be voided in the event of an accident? And he said, absolutely. The bottom line is nobody wants to use their insurance. So I'm very guilty of going to hotels, going to the mall, especially if it's a mall that has a lot of like robberies. I will always valet because you're not going to a garage with bags and stuff like that. I valet at clubs, especially if it's in like a janky neighborhood or if there's no parking. But now there's some things that you can do. You can actually, before you give your keys, you can do a screenshot of your mileage to make sure that they're not going anywhere crazy. You can go outside your vehicle and do a video walk around to see if there's any damage. And then you can compare the damage. If something were to happen, they could say that it's not them, but you have video footage before you gave them. Like, people will always fight you to make sure that their insurance is not who gets charged. Nobody wants that. They want your money, they want your business, but they do not want to assume liability. So I say all this to say, I have still not received a call about what happened. So I don't know. I'm still actually pretty mad. The more I'm gaslit, actually, the madder I get. The reason I did not want to do this video necessarily is because when I look at like super young people who just make mistakes, with me, an apology goes a long way, but an apology won't fix what could have happened. So you shouldn't be doing this. The hotel, initially, when the hotel got my story, they never should have gaslit me. And when all of these people got my phone number, at the very least, I should have gotten a call. So I say I'm not so mad at Hilton Brand because they actually removed the valet charges, but that has nothing to do with the actual company. I want the actual company to still pull those records, and I feel like I'm owed that. So I will keep you guys updated on this, but remember, when you are with the valet, don't just blindly trust them like I do. I won't anymore, but don't blindly trust anybody, because for a lot of people, your vehicle is probably your biggest purchase outside of a house. And you are giving that to somebody who you don't know and trusting them to do the right thing. And the one thing that we know is oftentimes people are not going to do that. So don't be mean to people in the service industry, but also don't be super trusting with everybody, because you'll get your car back with this kind of condensation, or even worse, damaged or totaled like they did Simone's car. So I'm going to see you guys later for some stuff that don't involve me. Have a good one. Like the video on your way out. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. What would you do in that situation? Put that in the comments.